I never thought I'd see the day when the ghosts of my past would show up on my doorstep. Hats in hand, eyes pleading for a lifeline. My name is Emily Carter, and at 36, I've carved out a life in the rugged beauty of Colorado's Front Range that most folks only dream about. My home in Boulder isn't just a house, it's a statement. A sprawling $8 million ranch-style estate perched on the foothills, with panoramic views of the Flatirons that stretch out like ancient sentinels under the endless blue sky. That morning, the sun was pouring in through the massive picture windows, warming the reclaimed wood floors and glinting off the granite countertops in my kitchen. I was sipping my ritual black coffee from a mug handmade by a local artisan, flipping through the Denver Post, when my smart home system pinged softly. "Visitor at the front gate," the AI voice announced. Calm as ever. I glanced at the security feed on my tablet, expecting maybe a delivery from the organic farm down the road, or a lost hiker who'd wandered off the trails. But what I saw froze me mid-sip. There they were, like figures stepped out of a faded photograph. My mother, Susan, her silver hair pulled back in a messy bun, looking frielier than I remembered. My brother, Jake, broad-shouldered but slouched now, with lines carved deep into his forehead, and my sister, Megan, still trying to hold on to that pageant poise. But her eyes betrayed exhaustion. They were huddled at the intercom, Jake pressing the button repeatedly, while Susan wrung her hands. "Please, we're family," I heard Megan's voice crackle through the speaker. "Just tell Emily it's us. We need to see her." Family. The word hit like a gust off the mountains, cold and sharp. I set down my coffee carefully, my hands steady from years of high-stakes negotiations. 18 years. That's how long it had been since they'd ridden me off, since the calls stopped ringing and the doors slammed shut. Birthdays alone in dingy apartments. Thanksgivings with takeout. Milestones celebrated with no one but myself. I'd built an empire from the ashes of that rejection, founding Rocky Secure, a cybersecurity firm that protected everything from local ranches to Fortune 500 companies across the West. We'd gone public last year, and my net worth had skyrocketed. But success doesn't erase scars, it just gives you better bandages. I took a deep breath, the kind my therapist had drilled into me for moments like this. Inhale control, exhale chaos. Then I hit the intercom. "Security. Let them through. I'll meet them at the door."
No rules.
I smoothed my casual outfit, designer jeans from a Denver boutique, a soft cashmere sweater, and the Rolex I'd treated myself to after our IPO. My hair was in a loose braid, practical for the windy Colorado days. As I walked through the house, past the home gym with its view of the infinity pool and the garage housing my electric Ford F-150, I felt the weight of every hard-won victory. This place wasn't just luxury, it was armor. They pulled up in a dusty old Chevy pickup, the kind you see rattling down rural highways out here. Susan stepped out first, her boots crunching on the gravel drive. "Emily," she said, her voice trembling like aspen leaves in the breeze. "Sweetheart."
We
didn't know where else to turn. "Can we come in, please?" I stood in the doorway, arms crossed, the cool mountain air carrying the scent of pine between us. Jake avoided my eyes, kicking at a pebble, while Megan clutched her purse like a shield. 18 years. "Mom," I said, my tone even like I was closing a deal. "No calls. No cards. Nothing. And now you're here. Why?" Susan's eyes welled up. "Things have been hard, Emily. Real hard. Your father's gone. Heart attack 2 years back. The ranch in Wyoming. We lost it to foreclosure. Jake's business went under, and Megan's divorce cleaned her out. We need help. Family helps family, right? I almost laughed, but it caught in my throat like dry dust. Family? That's rich coming from you.
Come in.
But don't get comfortable. We've got a lot to unpack. I led them into the living room, where the stone fireplace dominated one wall, logs crackling softly. They sat on the leather sectional, looking out of place against the modern Western decor, antler chandeliers, Navajo rugs. I poured water from a pitcher. No coffee for them. Hospitality has limits. Jake cleared his throat. Look,
Sis.
we know we messed up, but we're desperate. Mom's got medical bills piling up. Cancer treatments ain't cheap. I lost my construction company to bad loans. And Megan's ex skipped town with everything. Megan nodded, tears streaking her makeup. The kids. My boys need stability. We're not asking for a handout, just a leg up. I sat across from them, studying their faces. The years hadn't been kind. Susan's hands trembled, early signs of illness. Maybe. Jake's calluses spoke of hard labor gone wrong. Megan's beauty had faded under stress. Part of me, the part I'd buried deep,
ached.
but the stronger part remembered the slights, the favoritism that had shaped me. Let's rewind, I said. Back to Casper, Wyoming. The family ranch on the plains, where you all lived the dream. Jake the rodeo star, Megan the homecoming queen, and me, the afterthought, the one who didn't fit the cowboy mold. Susan winced. Emily, it wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. I cut in. But fine. You're here now. Tell me what you need, and I'll think about it.
No promises.
As they spilled their woes, the failed investments, the medical denials, the custody battles, I felt a storm brewing inside. Revenge tempted me, but something else stirred too. Maybe this was a chance for something better. For all of us. Growing up on that windswept ranch in Casper, Wyoming, taught me early that love wasn't doled out equally in the Carter family. The place looked idyllic from the highway, red barn, white fences corralling horses, the vast prairie rolling out like a golden sea under big skies. But inside those walls, the pecking order was clear as a mountain stream. Jake was the golden boy, roping calves and riding broncs like he was born in the saddle. Megan was the darling, with her dimples and curls, winning every local fair's beauty contest. And me, Emily, the bookworm who preferred tinkering with computers to mucking stalls. I was the surprise kid, born late when Mom and Dad thought they were done. I was 9 when the favoritism hit home like a bucking bull. Jake had just won the junior rodeo championship, and Mom threw a bash that drew half the town, barbecue, live band, even fireworks over the fields. His trophy sat proud on the mantel, polished daily. That same week, I'd built a solar-powered gadget for the county science fair and took first place. Mom glanced at my ribbon and said, "That's cute, honey," before turning back to planning Jake's next event. No party.
No pras.
Just a pat on the head like I was the family dog. It wasn't just the big moments, it was the everyday math of inequality. Jake's riding lessons cost a fortune. Gear from the best outfitters in Cheyenne. Megan's dresses for pageants? Imported from Denver. Each one pricier than the last. When I asked for coding classes at the community center, Dad shrugged. We can't afford extras right now.
Eminencia.
The ranch comes first, and your siblings need the support. The ranch, our slice of Western heaven, was always the excuse. But I saw the books once. We weren't broke. Just choosy about who got the dollars. My 12th birthday sealed the deal on how little I mattered. I'd saved my chore money for months, bought streamers and a cake mix, But the day of a storm hit, and Jake's horse threw a shoe. The whole family piled into the truck to rush to the vet in town, leaving me behind. "We'll celebrate tomorrow," Mom promised as they drove off. Tomorrow turned into never. They came back late, exhausted, and forgot. I ate a slice of the cake alone in the kitchen, tears mixing with the frosting. From then on, I faded into the background, straight A's ignored, violin recitals unattended, always the one left holding the fort while they chase glory. High school was the breaking point. I'd earned a scholarship to the University of Colorado in Boulder for computer science. My ticket out. I showed Mom the letter. Heart pounding. "Boulder? That's too far," she snapped. "You'll stay local.
Help with the ranch.
Jake's got pro rodeo trials. And Megan's modeling gigs need family support. We all pitch in. Emily. That's how it works out here. What if I don't want to pitch in forever?" I whispered, voice shaking. She laughed. A sound like cracking ice. "You think you're cut out for the big world? You're smart. Sure. But not like them. Not special. Stick to what you know, or you'll end up regretting it." Those words lit a fire in me, hot as a prairie blaze. That night, I packed a duffel with clothes, my laptop, and the $1,200 I'd saved from odd jobs, tutoring ranch kids, fixing neighbors' tech. I left a note. "I'm choosing my path." Hitched a ride to the bus station and headed to Boulder. No looking back. The first 6 months were hell on wheels. Boulder in 2008 was booming with tech startups amid the Rockies, but I was a nobody with no degree. I crashed on a friend's couch, worked double shifts, days at a coffee shop slinging lattes to hipsters, nights debugging code freelance for peanuts. Rent ate half my pay. Ramen arrest. I called home weekly at first, leaving voicemails. "I'm safe.
Just building something.
Please call back." They never did. Blocked my number after a month. Social media? They posted family pics at rodeos. Captioned the Carters ride together. As if I'd vanished into thin air. Christmas that year broke me. Alone in a freezing studio, I borrowed a phone and dialed. Mom picked up. "Emily, you're not welcome here anymore. Move on."
Click.
Dead air. I cried until dawn, then wiped my face and vowed I'd prove them wrong. Not for revenge, but for me. Boulder became my forge. I haunted the university library, learning cybersecurity on free terminals. Attended free workshops. Networked at breweries where techies gathered. That's where I met Dr.
Elena Ruiz.
A professor at CU specializing in digital forensics. She spotted me in a seminar, asking sharp questions about data encryption. "You're not a student here," she said after, "but you've got fire. Come to my office hours." Elena didn't baby me. "Talent without grit is dust in the wind," she'd say, pushing me to refine ideas. Under her wing, I prototyped what became Rocky Secure, affordable security system for small businesses, inspired by ranchers losing data to hacks. Coded in coffee-fueled marathons.
It was my baby.
Rejections piled up. Dozens of VCs laughed me out. Too green.
No creds.
But I pivoted, learned. Then came Alex Thompson, a young investor fresh off a wind energy exit. "I see myself in you. Hungry as hell. $200,000 seed. Deliver in 9 months." We did. Hired a tiny team, worked from a garage in the foothills. Near disaster when a competitor launched similar tech. But we innovated. Added Western twists like rugged hardware for remote sites. First client, a Wyoming oil firm. Then boom, contracts rolled in. The seed money from Alex was like striking water in the desert, life-giving. But I had to dig deep to make it count. We set up shop in a rented space in Boulder's tech district, surrounded by startups buzzing with energy. My team grew. Sam, a ex-Marine coder with a knack for tough systems, and Lisa, a brilliant analyst overlooked for her small-town roots. We ate, slept, and breathed Rocky Secure, turning my prototype into a powerhouse platform that shielded data like a fortress in the mountains. Challenges hit like avalanches. Funding rounds were brutal, pitching to suits who saw a young woman from nowhere and dismissed me. Nice idea, but too risky, one said with a patronizing smile. I smiled back, teeth gritted. Risk built the West. Watch me. Elena's advice rang true. Let doubt fuel you, not fool you. We iterated. Added features for rural users, offline modes for spotty internet in the Rockies. By year 3, we'd secured our first big contract, protecting networks for Colorado's ski resorts against cyber threats. Revenue hit 7 figures. I bought a modest condo in the hills, my first real home. But success brought shadows. Loneliness crept in on quiet nights, staring at the stars, wondering why my blood family couldn't see my worth. Therapy helped. Weekly sessions unpacking the abandonment. You're not broken, Emily, my counselor said. They were. News from home trickled in via old friends. The ranch struggled. Droughts. Bad investments. Dad's health failed. When he passed, I watched the online stream of the funeral, alone with a bottle of local whiskey. The obituary listed 2 devoted children. Erased again. It stung, but I channeled it into growth. Rocky Secure expanded westward. Offices in Denver. Partnerships in Seattle and Phoenix. Forbes featured me, the cybersecurity cowgirl conquering the frontier. 18 years blurred by. I dated sporadically, but trust was hard-earned. Built a circle of friends, fellow entrepreneurs, hikers, volunteers at youth tech programs I funded. Elena became family, joining holidays at my estate. You've built more than a company, she'd say. You've built resilience. Then came that sunny morning. Family at my gate. As they sat in my living room, spilling their desperation. I pulled up files on my laptop, not for show, but to understand. Public records. Susan's cancer diagnosis. Denied claims due to lapsed insurance under Wyoming law. Jake's bankruptcy filings after his construction firm tanked in the recession. Megan's messy divorce. Custody fights in family court. Assets frozen. You need about $400,000 to stabilize, I said flatly. Medical coverage. Debt clearance.
Housing.
Legally. I owe you nothing. Wyoming's filial responsibility laws don't apply here in Colorado. And even if they did, abandonment voids claims. Susan nodded weakly. We're not here for legal handouts. Just mercy.
Mercy.
The word hung heavy. Part of me wanted to slam the door, let them reap what they'd sown. But Elena's voice echoed, revenge chains you to the past. Healing sets you free. Maybe this was my crossroads. I closed the laptop, the room thick with tension. Let's talk terms, I said. But first, hear me out. You didn't just ignore me, you erased me. Legally, I could walk away clean. No duty of care after all this time. But I'm not you. I won't leave you in the dust. Jake leaned forward. So you'll help. With conditions, I replied. Not humiliation, but accountability. We'll draw up agreements. My lawyer's sharp on Colorado contract law. You'll each attend family therapy sessions, paid by me, to unpack what happened. Publicly? Nothing. This stays private. And you'll work for it, Jake. Intern at my company. Learn skills. Megan. Volunteer at my youth program. Susan. Share your story anonymously to help others facing cancer without nets. Megan blinked. Therapy? Like, talking about us. Yes, I said. We've got wounds that need stitching. Refuse. And you walk with nothing but my best wishes. Susan reached for my hand. I let her, surprising myself. Emily, we were wrong. Scared. Selfish. The ranch life. It blinded us. The confrontation unfolded over hours. Tears. Accusations. Raw truths. Jake admitted jealousy of my brains. Megan confessed resenting my independence. Susan broke down. I favor them because they fit the mold. You challenged it. I was a fool. As the sun dipped behind the peaks, casting golden light through the windows, something shifted. Not full forgiveness, but a crack in the ice. We signed the papers that week, simple, enforceable contracts emphasizing rehabilitation over punishment. Funds transferred, debts cleared. Susan's treatments covered under a new policy compliant with federal health laws. Jake started at Rocky Secure, surprising me with his work ethic. Megan mentored kids, finding purpose. Therapy sessions were brutal at first. Years of pain aired in a neutral Denver office. But slowly, bridges formed. Months later, at a family dinner on my patio, under string lights with the mountains silhouetted, Susan said, Emily, you've taught us grace we didn't deserve. I smiled faintly. The lesson? Family isn't blood, it's choice. Choose better next time. We didn't become picture perfect, but we healed. I found peace, realizing success shines brighter shared. In the end, forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was the ultimate strength, turning old wounds into wisdom for the trail ahead.